Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRPs was the vast majority of finance and crypto. So let's just dive in and let's start off with this tweet here from Bitcoin Archive. So we do see Bitcoin is the most Googled word in the USA. Now, obviously outside of the realm of Bitcoin, yes, this does mean something. When we actually look at crypto terms, and the overall trend of them on Google Trends, we can actually see that this is telling us that one, we will most likely see a run up in the market in the short term. But as we do look at crypto right now as a term, this is outside of Bitcoin because obviously, yes, there is quite a bit of search terms for Bitcoin. When we look at the crypto trend, this is basically flatlined. And I believe that we are getting to the point where this will soon start to spike and this will most likely go parabolic. And I think that most of the market is ready to do that as well. And the reasoning why is because of what is happening right now around the traditional world of finance, but also what's happening within the US. See, the US has a little bit of this, how should you put it, comical idea around how to target crypto. One thing that I would love for all of you to know is this quote here from Robert Kennedy Jr. And this is going to be the US presidential candidate. We do see the White House is colluding with the banksters to keep us all trapped in the bubble of profiteering and control. One of the biggest things that I've reported on this channel for the longest time, especially going back like a couple of weeks ago when I really started to talk about it, was the fact that we are now seeing this major pushback from regulators that I believe is funded by the bankers to keep crypto down. I also think that it's to keep crypto at bay from massively exploding and also expanding within the US. Now, yes, they do say Bitcoin is the escape route. I believe that it's all crypto, mainly the ones that do have quite a bit of utility. I've talked about XRP, XLM, HBAR, QNT, Casper, etc. Like, there's so many incredible projects out there that are great for not only providing a ton of value, but they are great for utility. But outside of what they do, outside of the value proposition behind them, they won't realize their true value unless we start to see a major pushback against the big bankers, which again, I believe are in the pockets of the regulators, which we've talked about quite a bit around the last 2 years within this SEC lawsuit. As we look at what's happening around the world of banking, though, it seems as though the greed is really getting to the big bankers. Now we are seeing individuals' accounts being closed out. Banks are closing customer accounts with little explanation. This is from New York Times. And we do see every day people are getting their bank accounts closed with no warning or recourse. It's safer for a bank to kick someone out rather than deal with compliance. Such is the nature of bank de-risking. Dealing with it is your own problem. And what we are seeing is the New York Times is collecting stories of people being debanked here on this article. The biggest problem, though, is that it's stuck behind the paywall. And one of the other consequences of being debanked is no credit card, so they can't access the New York Times survey to share their experiences being debanked. And basically this means debit card, not credit card. But as we do see down here, I can't access your survey about being debanked. I had all my banks closed. I can't even cash a check at Western Union. I can't open a bank account and I have no idea why. And we do see, can you send me the link? I have no credit card to pay to get to the survey. This is crazy what's happening. But also, it's all a game of control. It's a game of how far can they really go? And well, the truth of the matter is, your bank accounts are almost like an exchange account within crypto. Yes, they could be closed at any time. Yes, your funds could be completely locked from your access. The same way that I believe, and I've told you guys around what the FDIC wants to do with bail-ins, they could utilize your funds as well. This is a big deal. This is why I believe a lot of individuals are going to move to bank themselves. And also we are going to see a lot of individuals exploring crypto in the coming weeks, months, and even years ahead. Now, I seen Mark Phillips post an incredible image over here on Twitter. I actually like this. This got posted back on April 4th. So it's a little bit in the past, but we do see The US government is forcing the delisting of tokens, debanking of exchanges, suing projects and company executives, spreading false narratives to scare away depositors and investors. This coordinated attack is designed to deliver the crypto industry to Wall Street fat cats. Now, yes, we have talked about this, and a lot of people said, oh, it's just a conspiracy theory. No, it's not. Listen, these banksters, these big bankers, they don't want to lose demand. They don't want to lose market share value. They want to control. They want to profit. If you take away that, guess what? You are 100% putting a target on your back. This is exactly why I've said that, Ripple and XRP are being targeted since day one because of what they are doing. It's not because of, they were selling XRP on the open market to participants around on-demand liquidity, and in fact, that's a security transaction. No, it's all nonsense. It's a narrative. And guess what? A lot of individuals, including Vitalik Buterin, played right into it. Now, obviously, yes, Ethereum, Ripple, they don't really like each other. But I will say this. As you look at the crypto industry, and as you look at Wall Street, and you look at the governments, and you look at the bankers and the regulators, it's all one massive attack against this industry that's still in its infancy. And the reasoning why is because we attack the dominance that these bankers have. And they don't want Wall Street to lose out on the amounts of money that could be made off of the crypto industry. Because remember, crypto exchanges, they take in billions and billions of dollars in fees every single year. You honestly expect Wall Street to miss out on that? Absolutely not. Now, what is this all leading to, you ask? Well, the FedNow service. The FedNow service is getting ready to launch. We've been talking about this, and we do see says FedNow early adopters have or pave path to instant payments. And we do see down here, getting ready to launch. We'll spend late June into early July, she said, doing production and environment validation with the group. So they are getting ready for this to go fully live. And we do see partnerships are key as financial institutions identify the critical processors and service providers they need in order to fill the gaps in legacy systems and back office functionality in order to embrace faster payments. This seems pretty interesting. Remember what I've said around FedNow, like, we need liquidity. This 100% needs a liquidity. Now, I'm not going to say that Ripple is going to be utilized. I don't expect XRP to be utilized or anything like that. But I will say that the FedNow service, as we know it, is going to put a lot of pressure on the system because, again, because you have 24/7, 365 payments being instantly settled. This demands, and I mean it demands, a lot of liquidity. But they are getting ready for this. They are getting ready for the full launch of the FedNow service. The biggest problem that I have with this, though, is, well, when you look at this, there's a lot of problems tied to it. But also, I fear what's coming next, because we do see over here, in July of 2021, Fed Chair Powell was asked about cryptocurrencies and stablecoins. He responded, you wouldn't need stablecoins or cryptocurrencies if you had a digital US currency. Now the Fed is preparing to launch their FedNow payment service. They just said they have made no decision on issuing a central bank digital currency. Is the Fed laying the framework for a US digital currency? Listen closely.
Maybe more swift action on a digital currency for the Fed. Would that have a calming effect on the variety and the number of cryptocurrencies and stable coins that we see coming out? Wouldn't that be a more viable and reliable alternative than having all of these hundreds and perhaps 1,000 different cryptocurrencies emerging?
I think that may be the case, and I think that's one of the arguments that are offered in favor of a digital currency. That particularly you wouldn't need stable coins, you wouldn't need cryptocurrencies if you had a digital U.S. currency. I think that's one of the stronger arguments.
And I do believe that they are trying to work up to the point of replacing crypto. I don't think that they want crypto. Listen, if you're a central banker, you look at DeFi, you look at crypto, you look at what happened within this market in the last decade alone, from 2013, we'll just go off of 2013, to now. You're terrified. You're panicking. You're asking yourself, how do we stop this? How do we get rid of this? Well, their answer? Probably a digital US currency. Cbdc. A Cbdc. They say that they have no interest in launching a Cbdc. I'm telling you right now, You cannot take their word for anything. This is the same individual that said inflation is transitory. You see how well that's working out, right? I believe that they want to launch a CBDC. And we do see over here from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. The claim that FedNow is not the first step towards a CBDC would be more easily digestible were we not aware of the Biden administration's steady barrage of hostile broadsides against cryptocurrencies. Between 2008 and 2022, the Fed partnered with a handful of big banks to print $10 trillion, 10 centuries of wealth in 15 years, a bonanza for the banksters. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin give the public an escape route from the splatter zone when this bubble invariably bursts. So the White House is colluding with the banksters to keep us all trapped in the bubble of profiteering and control. This is that quote from the beginning of this video. In his February 8th post on Private Wires, Nick Carter describes how the White House has organized bankers to participate in a sophisticated, widespread crackdown to destroy the crypto industry. Carter describes 15 incidents where President Biden has weaponized the FDIC, the OCC, plus the DOJ to force crypto-friendly banks to close their doors to crypto firms since December 3rd. The recent crackdown on crypto blocks exit ramps, removes alternative rails, and strengthens government control over both the financial and political systems. We should be wary since CBDCs are the ultimate mechanisms for social surveillance and control. And we do see the distinction between FedNow and a CBDC is important from a technical standpoint, but not from a civil liberties standpoint. Compares FedNow to a virus that has evolved to evade recognition by changing its sequence without really changing its function. And yes, as we focus on CBDCs, we 100% need to rise up against these. Down in Florida, whether you are left, right, it does not matter. I don't care what your political stance is. Ron DeSantis is doing things right. They want to ban a central bank digital currency in Florida. This is what every single major state needs to do. Listen closely.
They simply try to do this, and they try to say that they're for social justice. So we recognize that as a threat to freedom in the state of Florida. We also recognize a threat to government colluding with some of these folks. And one of the things we're going to ban in Florida this year is the idea of a central bank digital currency that they're trying to do. This is something.
And this is huge. Again, I really want everyone to understand what's happening within the US. We are seeing our basic rights, our rights to paper cash, to cash privacy. Our privacy is at stake here, and control around your finances. But remember, right? The banks are also not safe. The banks are a big concern, and I honestly want to say one thing before the end of this video. As we look at banks, as we look at crypto, as we look at what's happening around the world, we are seeing a major push on CBDCs. This is going to continue to expand. They are putting the pedal to the metal, and they want to launch these CBDCs as fast as possible. They're going to utilize every major example possible to say that we need CBDCs. They're going to push for security, efficiency, speed, cost. It's going to put a facelift on the entire system. Everything is going to be so efficient. They're going to market this like crazy. And we do see over here, there's two videos from Crypto Airy that I want to play in this video before I completely end this video. We see, are you serious? The European Central Bank will make their digital money available to use at the cheapest possible cost, possibly at no cost for the most basic functions. This is not going well. Listen closely to this.
Everything is going digital. People are clearly expressing a preference for it, and there is no reason why we as a central bank should not be exploring also the reason why digital cash can be of good use. And as my colleague and friend Francois calls it, he says it's cash plus, because it is digital. Now, it is intended to be safe, it is intended to be sovereign, and it is intended to be available to all, anywhere, anytime, and at the cheapest possible cost, possibly at no cost, for the most basic functions. Possibly at no cost for the most basic functions. Everything is going digital.
So think about that, right? They're talking about to utilize the most basic functions, possibly at no cost. That means that they want to add a cost to utilize your money. Let me ask you this. Do you get charged when you buy something on Amazon outside of the cost for the product? Are you getting charged $5 to utilize your debit card or your credit card? No, you don't pay a fee. Well, that's what they want to do with this. These central bankers, what they smell is another way to make money. All they smell, all they breathe, everything about it is all centered around greed. These are the greediest individuals out there. And listen closely to this last one. A CBDC as private as cash. No, it will never be anonymous or protect your privacy. Listen closely to this.
Is it going to be as private as cash? No. So a digital currency will never be as anonymous and as protecting of privacy in many respects as cash.
So yeah, I mean, like, listen, this is what we are fighting back against. And India, by the way, India is planning to scale up CBDC users to 1 million and is prioritizing finding a solution to the challenge of an offline version of the digital rupee to foster financial inclusion. Like, people think that this is bullish, right? That crypto somehow plays a vital role in all of this. Well, I want you guys to understand, there is nothing bullish around a CBDC. In fact, we don't need a CBDC. We don't. That's why we 100% need to push back against this. This is a big deal. And the only reason why these central bankers want a CBDC is because guess what? They don't want crypto and they don't want stablecoins to thrive, because as it does, it takes away their dominance. It takes away their power. I mean, I want everyone to understand this. This is why we are seeing a major pushback from the regulators, from the big governments. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. So it's up to you all. Have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.